We're just excited to have all the women here, all the different sponsors, this year the Rialto Women's Club, and a number of other organizations who have partnered for this event for the Inland Empire.
Actually, I'm quite happy because this will allow more women to be able to attend. I'm excited. We've invited more people, and I think they're excited. So I'm looking forward to this for the 9th time.
And I want to thank the mayor of Rialto, Deborah. I love this lady because she always reaches out to the women. And that's what it's about, reaching out to everyone. But right now, women, we need women to reach out with women. And I just think the turnout, I've never seen so many women in one room and so many booths of offering so many different, items and makeup and just a little bit of everything. I'm enjoying myself all day.
I am Deborah Robertson. I'm the mayor of the great city of Rialto, California. Yes, the real jewel of the Inland Empire. And I am so pleased and honored that all of you were able to come out this morning, did not let the rain deter you, and join us for the 8th annual State of the Women event, which started out as a means to focus on our health and addressing some concerns, and has really become an activity that has become a regional and statewide effort. And to our credit, to finally this year have a keynote speaker that was so kind to fly from Washington, D.C. last night in this rain, and will have to leave us upon her remarks this afternoon. I just said that is really a testament to our community and to the Inland Empire and to what we have going on. So give yourself a round of applause.
And so I'm pleased to share a few remarks about the National Council of Negro Women and specifically the Inland Empire section, which is our local section. NCNW was founded by educator Mary McLeod Bethune in 1935, where she invited all the black women organizations, which was about 15, to a meeting. This meeting was also attended by Eleanor Roosevelt. She asked them to form a council where all retained their authority but joined together for political and economic power. They responded with a resounding yes. Today, there are 36 of these affiliate organizations. 5 years later, Mrs. Bethune realized that there were many women who did not belong to any of these organizations, and she created what we call sections of the affiliate women, making NCNW truly a y'all come organization. It did not matter whether the women had a PhD, an MD, a JD, or no D. Everyone was welcome to the council. She cautioned us to have a respect for the use of power, but always deal with power at the seat of power. Inland Empire, our local section, was chartered in 1960, and we operate the Bethune Career Center on Foothill here in Rialto. We hold the distinction of having the most members who are elected women, 1 assembly member, 3 mayors, and 1 school board member. And we are a working organization. We do not have balls or social events. We are a working organization.
I want to talk to you a little bit about my office, so you kind of have a context for where I'm coming from. So the Office for Victims of Crime, it's a part of the Justice Department, and it was created in 1984, and we're celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. And we're the nation's leading agency for supporting victims of crime. So our mission is to enable communities just like Rialto to respond to crime victims through the provision of services and training and technical assistance. So we provide formula grants to the states for victim compensation and victim assistance. We also fund direct services to victims of crimes like human trafficking and domestic violence and sexual assault. We provide support to tribal communities that, as you all know, are struggling so hard to be able to get the services they need to serve their communities. We work with our national, our state, our local partners to create new and innovative ways to serve victims of crime. But we also provide emergency funding for when there are large-scale mass violence events. So, for example, when those tragic events happened in Aurora, Colorado, at the movie theater, in Newtown, Connecticut, at that school, and at the bombing at the Boston Marathon in Boston, we provide assistance, emergency assistance, to victims and their families to help them cope with the overwhelming trauma of events like those. And the assistance isn't just for the victims. It's for those first responders. It's for law enforcement. It's for EMTs, those people that respond to the crime, the first ones there, who are overwhelmed sometimes with the tragedy and the trauma that they experience. They need our help too. So we get our money from Congress. But I'm happy to report to you that the money that we get to serve victims of crime is mostly from a fund called the Crime Victims Fund. And that fund is made up of fines and penalties from the bad guys. So that Crime Victims Fund, it's not taxpayer money. So the services that we provide to victims comes from that fund. And there are billions of dollars in that fund. But we are allocated an amount from that fund every year. So this year we got $745 million to serve victims of crime. And it sounds like a lot, and it is. I mean, come on, that's a lot. But it's divided up amongst all the states for all the victim assistance and all the victim compensation. So you'd be surprised how quickly that money is spent.
And talk to you about Sacramento on the other side of the house, where the green carpet is located, as opposed to the red carpet that she's on. You know, this has been a very, very exciting year for us. It's been an exciting year for me personally, but it's also been an exciting year for us collectively, because I've been able to do some things in Sacramento. Maybe they weren't all great bills that were passed and earth-shaking things, but they were things that happened and helped our community. Senator Torres and I worked on behalf of Rialto. We worked on behalf of that airport to return the airport to the city of Rialto. Department of Finance had it, would not let it go, and we got together and we said, no, you have to let it go. And they did, and now Rialto, all those developers you saw up here, now you can get busy. You can bring some housing, you can bring some jobs back to the city.
This year in Sacramento is going to be a wonderful year. We actually have a surplus. When Ms. Carter and I when I started, and Ms. Carter was already there in the assembly, I started in 2008, you started in 2006. We had a terrible budget stale made. It was, when I started, we had a $30 billion deficit. And when it's time to cut services, as usual, it's always women and children that get thrown off the boat. So women and children suffer the most during this time between 2008 and 2011. We had a governor that didn't understand what it was to be a working mom. We had a governor that didn't understand what it was to have to live from paycheck to paycheck, who didn't understand about transportation issues, public transportation. And while I don't want another government program in my community, you don't want another government program in your community, you want a job. But in order for you to do your job, you have to have a collective body help you grow and help you get prepared and maybe help you with your children with transportation. I worked for many, many years the graveyard shift as a 911 dispatcher. So I listened to victims of crime during their most vulnerable times for 18 and a half years, actually. And it had an impact on my life. When people call 911, they don't say, I'm a Republican, I want a police officer, or I'm a Democrat and I need an ambulance. People need services. So while, politics takes place in every community and every hometown, when it comes down to services, if we would just focus on those issues, serving the people that we promised to serve at election time, then we could all be successful and we could all win, just like Ms. Brown and Mr. Rodriguez and I are winning now. And, we're able to bring a lot of services to you because we're working together, not focusing on petty politics, but focusing on the needs of our communities.
But I would like to invite up Miss Jeannie Smith and Miss Sandra Chulpapek. Would you please come and join me? Give them a round of applause. They run the Healing Center here in Rialto, and it's the Center for Childhood Trauma. It's a nonprofit agency that provides therapeutic services to abused children and their families. The Center for Healing was first established in the city of San Bernardino. Then in 2002, it moved to Rialto. And so these two ladies have been with Rialto and providing the services in our community since 2002. And I didn't see in here if they listed how many that they serve in the course of the year. It's very many. Numerous number of kids that come through there. I know that the city, we personally, every year annually support the center by taking all of the requests from the kids to buy Christmas gifts, and we call upon our employees and elected officials to take those cards, and we all go out and buy gifts and then donate those gifts so that they will have one wonderful Christmas party. And we've been doing that now for about, 9 years. Wow. So it's with my pleasure and honor that I ask Ms. Strong to present to them. You want to take it out?
It says Rialto Mayor 2014 Jewel Award to Jeannie Smith, Center for Healing Childhood Trauma, 8th Annual State of the Women's event.
All right. And I'd like to present it to you. Come on over.
Wow, this is awesome. The character, the courage, the commitment that is represented in this room right now, it's such a privilege to be here and be a part of this. Thank you so very much. I knew from a very early age that my purpose in life would be to help people. And my life journey has taken me on several paths to that purpose. The one that has been that purpose for the last 24 years is Center for Healing Childhood Trauma.
I feel really honored and humbled to be up here today. And as the different speakers have come, I was thinking that any one of you ladies could be right up here because you all do every day what God has called you to do. And so that is very, very special. You don't think about being honored for what you're called to do, and you just go about doing your daily business, and you don't think about anybody ever even noticing. So this is quite overwhelming. But I thank you so much, and just invite you to learn more about the center, and if we can be of service to you or your families, we are there right in the middle of town. Thank you so much.
First attendance? Second time. I went, I think it was the second conference, and I am just delighted to see how it's grown. It's a huge event, much bigger than I expected, and just a lovely representation for all women.
I'm looking forward to it. It seems to be an exciting day going forth for us, and I'm just excited to be here.
This is great. This is great. All I hear out there with the ladies, they're excited and they think it's a great event, and this is best.